To this day, Bedwars on Hypixel continues to draw in thousands of unique players on a daily basis. It continues to compete and stay neck and neck with Skyblock, and on select days even goes as far as to surpass Skyblock in player count. There's no doubt, Bedwars has stood the test of time to become one of the most mainstream and recognizable game modes on Hypixel, and perhaps in all of Minecraft. But what about it specifically cost it to achieve that status? Why is something like Skywars not at that level? What's going on, everyone? It's your favorite blue guy here. Today I'll be comparing aspects of Bedwars with some of the other sky-based PvP game modes, mostly Skywars, in the hopes of discovering what made it spark, whereas the others did not. Starting off with what is likely by far the biggest difference, the respawn system. In Skywars, you die once, that's it. Game over. On to the next one. Like the map you were on? Too bad. Unless you have map selection, but most people don't. Now obviously with Bedwars, that doesn't happen, unless someone successfully side rushes you. If you lose a fight, generally it isn't the end of the game. You get to keep going, and I think a lot of players prefer that system. It gives them more time to get adjusted to the game, and by staying there longer, they have a longer time to see all the items used and all the methods and strategies, and then decide if this is a game they like. If a new player gets a max of 10 seconds in Skywars because they got their island jumped on, their impressions likely aren't going to be the strongest. So the second difference, which I don't think people really take notice of too often, is the utter lack of RNG when it comes to items. In Skywars, you may not get a chest plate in your starting chests. You may not even get blocks. Like, what? Skywars item RNG can literally win or lose you a game in seconds. It's too unbalanced. Players tend to not like it when someone at mid gets ender pearls and a prot 4 chest plate in their chest, while they get a stack of wood and a flint and steel. In Bedwars though, everyone has access to the exact same shops with the exact same items and perks. In a complete opposite to Skywars, there is zero item RNG here. All the currency used to buy them spawn at a steady rate for everyone. They tend to never change prices, and if a player has an item that another one doesn't, it's because that other player bought it. But the initial guy could also buy it if he really wants it. It's a bit fairer for everyone, and it makes losing fights due to gear differential not as aggravating, like not having an iron chestplate in your shop but having all the other pieces. Difference number 3, and I think this one is kind of known a bit already, is the leveling system. I think the Mr. Incredible meme works perfectly here. Bedwars stars and Skywars stars are completely different in terms of skill. You'd be absolutely terrified of a 100 star in Skywars, but a 100 star in Bedwars is actually kind of below average. That's because leveling up in Bedwars takes way less than leveling up in Skywars. The max XP you could win in a single game of Skywars is 341, and that's with impossible methods. You gain Skywars XP monstrously slower than Bedwars XP, and while most Skywars levels require 10,000 XP per level up, Bedwars is only 5,000 per, and you get it much quicker. That feeling you get when you level up and the speed at which you can do it can quickly turn someone into a Bedwars grinder, whereas with Skywars it's far less likely because of how slow it is. These things matter. Difference number 4 is strategy. When it comes to strategy in Skywars, you're pretty limited. It really only boils down to 3 big ones: melee, projectile, or trap. While there's a little bit of variety to Skywars and how you could go around playing it, Bedwars by far offers the most variety. You could fireball jump, you could TNT jump, you could speed bridge, or collect. Choose from a wide variety of bed defenses. There are rotating items to keep things fresh, potions and utilities that could give you an advantage. Bedwars is just far more vast in terms of personalization and strategy than Skywars is. And Bedwars even has a feature where you can practice a certain amount of these strategies. Don't see where that is in Skywars. The final difference I'll talk about here today, content. If you take a look at a Bedwars video versus a Skywars video, there are a lot of key things that separate the two. I think a visual example is the best option here. I'll show you part of a Bedwars video by someone high in the YouTubes, and then I'll show you part of a Skywars video by someone high in the YouTubes. You tell me which one seems more engaging and catered towards the more popular group.
Smelly Ari, yeah, you is smelly. Wait, I'm gonna throw a ladder. Can you place that down for me? No, please? Shaking their head, no. I'll have to do it myself. What? Impossible. All right, paint team, you're about to get the clappeth. What?
I don't know how that didn't land. Go away. Leave me alone. I can tell this is gonna be a long game.
So, which one seemed more attention-grabbing to you? Now, some players definitely have their tastes in content, but I think if you pull the average crowd of newer users, which the demographic is on the younger side for, then it's pretty obvious they'd rather watch Mr. Wallibear over here. Now, this isn't any sort of an attack on any specific creators. I think even Specular kind of understands, as even he's basically become a Bedwars only YouTuber. Bedwars is just better for content. It actually kind of circles back to difference number 4 and the amount of unique strategies that exist. It allows for countless types of Bedwars videos, and if made correctly, can hook someone instantly, and then basically the strategies never get old. Skywars, since it doesn't have as many, is basically the same game every single video. You don't have as much room to wiggle around in Skywars as you do in Bedwars, and so naturally, viewers who don't even play the game are far more likely to be drawn to Bedwars. Do you guys prefer Bedwars? Skywars? Maybe you hate PvP and prefer Skyblock? Let me know in the comments below. That is all for today. I do hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.